Hello everybody and welcome to more Heroes of the Storm action at the road to Blizzcon Qualifier here in Europe. We have Meteor Makers going up against NaVi in a best of 3 series, and this is going to be exciting. Both of the teams find themselves in the loser bracket and have to fight now for their chance to reach the next round of the tournament. NaVi currently in a position where they are trying to run a double tank. They go into Johanna together with Leoric. Very good pushing power that they have on the lanes now, and especially on the map like Dragon Shire, which is map number 1 in the best of 3 series. You want to have that lane sustain there. You want to be sure that you can push these lanes back so that you can access to the shrines and also the dragon statue. They had to go into Ililia as their support, since we had a double support on the side of Meteor Makers. They really like to play that part, and also of course Meteor Makers is running that full set again that we've already seen quite a lot against double tank, to go for that auto attack build with seasoned marksman and really put in the pressure against these two tanks in the later stages of the game. Together with the full set, we're seeing them running a Jaina here, and they are going up against the 2 damage dealers on the side of NaVi with a Vala and also an Azebo. So very solid setups for both of the teams here entering this series on the first map, and let's find out together which team is going to be able to take the lead in the best of 3 here at the European qualifier for the road to BlizzCon. NaVi versus Meteor Makers, a best of 3 in the losers bracket of the road to BlizzCon Qualifier, the EU Open, the first one of its kind, and we have a best of 3 series here at the hand, with the first map being Dragon Shire. To the left side of the map it is the man himself, Blade on Falstad for Meteor Makers, Tidaka on Anubarak, a double healer composition with Barbeta on Malfurion and Crisplosion on Uther and Remabola on Jaina. NaVi to the right side of the map with a double tank, Alex the Pro G on Leoric, we have Shrimpy on Johanna, Eternal on Vala, JPL on Azebo, and forced into Lily, Splendor, the support player, looking for adventure. This is going to be a fun one. I'm Khaldor, with me is Techa, and we're going to bring you this coverage here of the first map in this best of 3 series, with Shrimpy looking for opponents and not finding anybody in the middle.
Oh, the minion block, 5-man minion block to try and pull back the wave here. It did work pretty well. Like that one guy though, just to like get out of here.
What
like,
is this? Dota 2? That's a nice wave clear, by the way.
Yeah.
Gone.
The 5-man wave clear, and then send Blade down to the bot in to fly instantly to make sure they don't miss any.
So, boys, in case that you haven't seen too many Meteor Makers matches in the past, the one thing that you really have to watch out for is Blade on Falstad. If you haven't really seen a lot of matches of those guys, or you don't know the current meta that they are running against double tanks, and you're probably looking at the talents right now and you're like, what is this? Season Marksman on Falstad? Is this quick match? No, it's not. It's just a really, really strong auto attack build that Meteor Makers uses against the double tanks, with Blade going on level 4, then either in the reduction on the cooldown for his barrel roll, or into his Vampiric Assault, and then later on Secret Weapon, Giant Killer, and Falstad is just the dedicated hero to put pressure on the 2 frontliners, and it works really, really well for Meteor Makers.
Yeah, it's very, very effective. It's been I've only seen that particular style countered once, and that was by Muradin with both Reverberation and Imposing Presence, which is overkill to say the minimum.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge amount of dedication that you need to have to counter a build of your opponent. And up to the top we have now Barbeta and the rest of the team with the rotation trying to drop Alex the Pro G, and they will succeed here. A lot of hate against Leoric, a 4-man row making sure that Leoric goes down, but guess what? He's gonna be back.
Yep, he is a spooky, spooky ghost and will revive very quickly. Already back in lane, didn't even miss a minion.
We have Lily at the bot lane together with Azebo and Vala. Lily going on level 1 for the Timeless Creature and for the Mending Serpent. So full Serpent build thus far. They got forced into Lily because of the bans that we saw earlier. As predicted, the reduction on the barrel roll cooldown for Falstad on level 4, going for Flow Rider. Dragon Shire is of course a map where Falstad has also other benefits. He is very, very mobile on the map, and that helps you when you are trying to defend against the Dragonite of your opponent, or you need to fly to one of those shrines to just like zone out somebody, or maybe catch a Dragonite on your own.
This is very true, and the Lily with the Timeless Serpent means she is not taking the mana regen talent, the Conjurer's Pursuit, so it's just gonna hopefully just rely on her own mana control to not just bottom out in the middle of a team fight.
Yeah, talking about team fights, we have a small one up at the top where Beta and Tidaka are trying to catch one of those temples or one of those shrines, and Alex the Pro G is trying to do what he can. Leoric here is of course a great second tank, and he has great wave clear, which is one of the reasons why he is the solo character up at the top lane. That skeleton swing that you just saw is such a great tool if you want to make sure that you have the lane dominance. He's even put up against the Zagara quite often, not so in this game in particular, but that's one of the things that he can do as well, and he brings a lot of utility to the table. Vala, by the way, going for the arrow build in this case now because of those shrine fights where she is going to shine with that single target damage.
Yep, and it allows her to disengage very, very nicely when someone like a Nubarak does tunnel in to try and focus her down.
We have Hardened Bones for Leoric, and that's really going to help. On level 7, though, we have the increased duration on the Wraith Walk, and that's a bit of an oddity. We see it sometimes, not all the time, though, because oftentimes it's just that paralyzing swing that you really want to go for to have extra control during the team fight when you slow opponents down even further with your skeleton swing. Lily is going for the Shake It Off against the stuns that we're going to see from Meteor Makers in this game. And at the same time, now we're having the secret weapon continuing the auto attack build for Falstaff.
Both shrines currently in favour of NaVi, but it's only Johanna in the mid lane who is just being zoned by Rememballer and Crisposion.
And we also see now the repeating arrow on the side of Vala, so even more damage coming in for those fights. The top lane with Alex the Pro G and Barbeta, the healers here. The double heal composition that we are having on the side of Meteor Makers is of course going to make it really difficult for NaVi to drop a target, but at the same time it's also a bit problematic when we're talking about damage, and whoa! There comes Vala, exactly with that build that we've been mentioning earlier, trying to use that double arrow to drop somebody, and the first victim in the game is Jaina, and that results in the first Dragon Knight for NaVi.
Yeah, and that was very nice there. We did see Crisposion with the Holy Radiance to try and deny it, but once he'd done that, he had nothing else other than melee stuff, and Infernal just immediately just focused everything he had onto the Uther to drive him back. So he knew that if he walked into melee range of that Dragon Knight, he is just going to get focused down and killed by Vala.
Down at the bot lane, talking about pressure, we're having also now the tri-lane going straight through the entire wall. Rememballer is rotating down to help out Tidaka, but the Nubarak was already in quite a bit of trouble, and at the top lane, Schwimpy is just continuing to put pressure onto those structures, is trying to punt Blade away, but, well, we don't have a new NAFL quarterback here. Instead, Schwimpy is just going for tower number 2, but is he going to fall? No.
He's not going to fall, but neither is that tower, surviving on very low health. Alex Pro G, though, will pick up one in his stead, able to wipe this one out in the mid lane.
Yeah, takes... wow. Skeleton swing takes down both of them, and now they have their heroic ability, and of course it's just an amazing advantage this early in the game. Running the extra talent on level 10 gives you such a huge lead, and they are using that now with the March of the Black King at the top lane here. We have also Lily with their heroic ability, going for the full heal, of course. It's the Gargantian, Strafe, and we're also seeing a Blessed Shield for Jaina. And Strafe is a talent. We have a few stuns available for Meteor Makers, but if you get that Strafe through, you will add a lot of damage into those team fights.
Yeah, it does mean that if a Nubrak does pick the Web Blast, which he absolutely should here, he has to pick his target very carefully. Does he go for Lily, who's dropping absurd amounts of healing, or for Vala, who is dropping huge amounts of damage?
It's definitely not going to be easy for him. It's very situational who you want to prefer and target down in a situation like this. Divine Shield being used now for Uther, Tranquility for the heals. They have so much sustain in these fights now that's really going to help them. And especially the Water Elemental for Jaina is going to offer them also a fair amount of control that they're going to use here. With the Hinterland Blast, just adding a bit of burst that they can use if one of these heroes, maybe Malfurion with a Root or a Nubarak with a stun, can lock down a target and offer a really good victim for the Hinterland Blast opportunity.
Exactly. So right now, Fnatic just taking their own Bruiser camp and putting some pressure on the bot lane, but the pressure has been countered here by Meteor Makers. JBL does get picked off by a Blizzard.
Yeah, the Hinterland Blast does not really do any damage, but they get the Nazebo in the end, and now they can also push down the wall here. Rememballer is of course going to try to get as many creeps as possible. He wants to add more stacks and therefore get the auto attack damage for later on in the game. He is going to get extremely powerful once that Nexus Frenzy hits for him. Then he's going to attack even faster, which is of course having a lot of synergy with his secret weapon. And it's definitely going to be very difficult to deal with for Johanna and Leoric.
Speaking of Leoric, he is continuing to push down this top lane with the help of some bruisers. Web Blast just used, I think, in the bottom lane. And the shrine taken just in time to prevent Valor from getting
wow.
a Dragon Knight.
I really was like, why is she not transforming? Then I looked at the bot lane and was like, oh my god, no, they didn't. Just in the last second. They even got a kill against Johanna. Meteor Makers is suddenly gaining some momentum here, and with that 4-man push at the bot lane, Blade actually moving into mid lane now as he wants to defend against Nazeebo, make sure that the Witch Doctor is not getting the structure taken out. But to the top, Alex is still pushing in against Babeta, and poor Malfurion doesn't really stand a chance in this battle.
Yeah, bottom 4 does go down in favour of Meteor Makers, but Leoric, like you said, continuing the pressure on the top lane, and Leoric's still one of the most powerful laners in the game at the moment.
Yeah, he definitely is, and this is one of the things
Oh,
where
no.
the rotation is maybe going to
no.
take him down. He has the 2 Wraith Walk talents, and he's using them,
Yeah.
and the added range
Wow.
is saving him. Barely.
That was insane. That was almost an entire lane. Like, from the middle of the lane to behind his wall, completely safe.
It was very, very close. Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, he was pretty happy that he took that level 7 talent, because without it, he would have died there. There was just no way for him to survive otherwise. They get another shrine up at the top again, and that means that we have another rotation. Fawcett, the first one to get taken out here. And we have Divine Shield on Uther, but he is getting blocked still. That wall of zombies was perfect. Crisplosion heals himself just now. There's also Malfurion trying to help him out, but it is not enough. He is dying. Level 15 versus level 14, and another Dragon Knight. A very solid lead again for NaVi in this first game between the two teams in the loser bracket of the EU Open Qualifier.
Yeah, and they are now going to push in with their Dragon Knight in the mid lane. Everyone except for Leoric, who is still pushing top lane, just relentless in his assault here.
He's like, Heroes of the Storm, a team game? What are you talking about? Like, that's a solo game. You play that one-on-one.
It was nice battling with you guys. I'm going to go back to my single-player PvE farm game now.
Yeah, so he must have been this is the most boring game for him ever. He's just like at the top lane and he completely ignores what's happening, with the exception of a rotation trying to target him. That's like a boss encounter for him, when suddenly there's a rotation on the map and he has to deal with that. It's like, oh yeah, those are the special moments that I have in the game.
But even that, all he did was hit E.
True. I mean, if you put it that way.
Alright, so the rest of NaVi just pushing the bot lane. Leoric still pushing top lane. JPL though getting chased by Blade, but the zombie wall will prevent Falstad from pursuing any further.
Level 16 also brought after the Burning Rage that we're seeing for Leoric on 13, and now the Imposing Presence. And that's an important talent if you go up against Blade's build, which we already see there. Reducing the attack damage this significantly is super important, but Alex can move back away. Again, the Wraith Walk duration is just amazing for him. We have an Herbal Cleanse taken on Lily on level 16, which is very needed, of course, with all the stuns that we're seeing from Meteor Makers. It's, by the way, also Hold Your Ground taken. He has the trait already on 13 and on 16 as well with Fanatism. So not going into anything like Spell Shield or even an attempt to maybe just use a Blessed Hammer for extra damage. Shrimpy is dying regardless though, because in the 1 versus 5, Johanna's just not going to do anything.
Well, their 1 versus 5 worked against Johanna, and they were thinking about using it against Leoric, but he's already left. In the meantime, the rest of NaVi picking up all their mercenaries. MYM responding in kind with their own bruiser count.
Now that we have level 16, it's hammer time for Falstad. He's only waiting for the Nexus Friends in level 20 to dish out all that damage, especially against Johanna, of course, since she refused to went into the Imposing Presence that Leoric picked here. She had the chance to do that, but she decided against it. We're having now also on level 16 hindering Moonfire taken for the slow. We're seeing Benediction, Numbing Blast and Blood for Blood. So pretty solid talents for both of the teams here, but in kills it's 4 kills against 3, but a very, very good lead in experience for NaVi just because of all the structures that they took down.
Yeah, all the structures and the fact that Leoric has literally never left the top lane, so he's been able to soak that pretty efficiently the entire game. Rest of NaVi now grouped up in the mid lane. Looks like they're about to split and maybe try and fight over that bottom shrine. Leoric already top lane waiting for it to spawn.
For the lols, I put up the experience taken. And Leoric is at 15,000, with most of the other players in the team only having half of the XP that he has, just because he was solo on the top lane the entire time, as you already mentioned.
Well, NaVi having to back away from this for now, and there's that extra movement speed coming in from Johanna.
By the way,
Leoric is on the He doesn't stop.
Leoric is going for the keep now, and it's just like, boys, I got this.
Leave it to me, guys. I will take care of it. Falstad, in fact, bees back to defend. The engagement onto Valor. She does use her Volt to get away, and the Hungering Arrow healing her up. Blood, not enough to finish her off.
Yeah, just barely. By the way, over here, Alex just doesn't care.
He's still full health.
He's still at full health. He's using his Drain Hope the entire time, and then when he realizes, well, I might
I'll be
die
back
here.
with minions.
And 1, 2, 3, E. Nope, Drain Hope.
Well, he has minions now. Blade is staying up here for a while just to defend this. Both shrines currently in favor of NaVi, and it's Nazebo heading to the mid lane to pick up the Dragon Knight, and they're able to get this. Leoric able to lay it up, and Falstad just flew, I think, to try and catch out Leoric, but he has snuck away and has now left the top lane.
The first time that Alex is in the middle. This is the first time in the game that he is not top. He basically turned this entire game into a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, well, he has now joined his team, so it is finally a 5 versus 5. Blade has made his way down here as well, focusing onto Valor with the hammer time to stun is real. Nice one, the Storm, though, to dodge.
Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle taken, the level 20s are there with the Indestructible and also the Hardened Shield. They're moving in. JPL with the hammer, using the axe against the keep and taking that down. No problem for him whatsoever. We're seeing an attempt of Meteor Makers to win this fight, but they're 2 levels down and 1 big talent. Nubarak is in trouble, gets the Divine Shield. Blade is already moving away, but the double heal is saving everybody. There's nobody that they can kill. Great Ice Block here that we've seen used by Jaina, but the fight is not over yet.
Yeah, and the Dragon Knight still has 14 seconds left, so he's just going to start breaking stuff in the mid lane while pulling out. We saw an incredible interruption of Strafe by Falstad, though, in that fight.
Yeah, using that talent level 16 with the mini stun, that was definitely very well done here. A couple of really cool moves, like when we saw the the ice shield, the armor, the thingy, ice block, used for just a second to negate that potential punt on the Dragon Knight. That was great. And guess who's back at the top lane? It is Leoric.
Why?
I got this.
He's gonna get the keep as well. It's got no health. He's just gonna wade into it and get it later.
Okay, now they're tripling him. Enough is enough, and he's like, and that just creates space in the mid lane. They're moving in the middle. Fnatic is playing a super annoying game, but it's working. It's working for them.
Leoric's pushing the keep. He's being forced to back up, though he has no minion wave with him. But like you said, the rest of Fnatic just wading into this mid lane as much as possible. And Lily with the Herbal Cleanse just letting Johanna get out of there anytime she's engaged on.
Yeah, and well, guess what?
That's going to be a keep.
Yeah, Leoric is back. And he takes it.
He's got
keep
the keep,
down.
now he's ready for the fight. Uber having to divine shield himself here to protect himself. Ashpro wading through. It takes a lot of damage. He's being focused. And Lily with the
Lily! No way! She gets interrupted by Web Blast again, and Leoric goes for the E. The Hinterland Blast hits him. He gets healed again. Shrimpy makes sure that nobody's following up, uses the Condemn here, and I mean, like NaVi, they just moved back again. It's level 19 versus 21. Any second now we are seeing Meteor Makers with their heroic ability as well. But this game, and especially Leoric, is crazy. The shrines are going to be up again. They're trying to go for another Dragon Knight.
Wow, this is hilarious. So I'd also like to point out, Leoric is currently 0-1. He hasn't contributed to a single kill for his team.
Well, we have the 20s there for Meteor Makers. It's Nexus, Frenzy, and Falstad as expected. Hardened Shield on Nubarak. We have one Bolt of the Storm and also the Storm Shield. Redemption on Uther is going to come in just a bit. By the way, Leoric is currently at 190,000 siege damage. Just saying.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job and now going to push in with the Dragon Knight. We do see Valor get knocked up here, but bolts herself to a much safer position, and there is...
Amazing strafe in the back line. Already Lili Web Blaster, but the kill against Nazeebo, and maybe now with the 20 talent they can move in using the Nexus Frenzy on Falsa to get the extra damage in against the tanks. Uther is down though, one of those healers, but he will be back with the redemption. Nice ice block here on the side of Remaballer, really well done, but the pressure from NaVi is still real.
They're just going to continue pushing in here. T-Dog getting focused down. A Shrink Ray stops him from escaping. And he does die. Shrimpy now moving on to Malfurion. Water Elemental to try and slow him down, but he does not care. He is just wading through all this with his traits, trying to pick someone off. Falstad taken down by Eternal.
The bird was plucked. Uther is not happy, and the core attacked. Alex the Pro G moves in with a battle axe, dropping the core now, and this looks like the 1-0 for Team NaVi. NaVi takes it against Meteor Makers. Dragon Shire won, and we are of course going to continue to the second map in this best of 3 series at the EU Open Qualifier for the road to Blizzcon. Leoric for NaVi here, with a completely different approach to the game. I mean, he was doing his own thing. He just didn't care. He was like the dude, he's the big Lebowski. He's the guy who just like sits at the top lane, pushes it in, and doesn't have a care in the world of what else happens on the map. NaVi with a very, very different approach here to Leoric, using on level 4 the Hardened Bones, and then on level 7 the Lingering Apparition, and it worked really well for them. So an interesting approach to the game here for sure. Leoric just going through the wall, through the to the keep, taking that as well, and then at some point realizing that maybe he should see what the rest of the team is doing and helping them out there. NaVi with a great strategy, it worked out perfectly well for them, and Meteor Makers of course a bit dumbfounded here. I mean, they were trying to somehow control that, and they never really had a chance to lock Leoric down properly. So now they are down in the best of 3 series, and they chose Tomb of the Spider Queen as the next map, and here they're gonna try and make their stand. And they have a couple of really good heroes to make this happen. They have a Tyrael, they have also a Johanna, so a double warrior setup for them again, and also 2 damage dealers in the back line. But then when we're looking at the setup for NaVi, NaVi is running something very aggressive here. They have a Muradin, they use him together with Leoric, so again a hero that can really push these lanes back, something that they already did on the last map. They're using Muradin on the other hand, together with a Tyrande and also an Uther. So a lot of stuns that they can bring to the table to, especially in the early game, try to get their kills in with good stun logs until the healer of the opponent's team then finally gets his cleanse and can work against that. And another hero that they're also running here is a Zagara. So Zagara and Leoric definitely the 2 heroes that can push lanes, whereas we have the other 3 heroes as a perfect roaming squad on the map, trying to just get those stuns in and get early kills. That's something that Fnatic is or Meteor Makers of course, is very well aware of, so they need to somehow make sure that that doesn't happen in the early game, and then take it from there, reach that late game where not only their Kalthas, but also their Nazeebo will be able to, with level 16 in particular, get their damage in and push the opponent back. This is going to be game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, here in the best of 3 series of the Road to BlizzCon Qualifier for Europe. Tomb of the Spider Queen, coming up next. Game number 2 in the best of 3 series in the loser bracket at the Road to BlizzCon EU Open Qualifier. Number 1, we have NaVi facing Meteor Makers, and NaVi is in the 1-0 lead in this series. They need one more map win to advance to the next round of the losers bracket. We have them to the left with Alex the Pro G on Leoric, also called the Dude. Splendor on Uther, Eternal on Muradin, JPL on Zagara, and Shrimpy on Tyrande. As to the right side of the map, Beta is playing Kalthas for Meteor Makers, Tidaka on Tyrael, Blade on Nazeebo, we have Crisplosion on Malfurion, and Johanna, the tank played by Remaballer. This is game number 2. I'm Khaldor. With me is Techa, and we're going to bring you the coverage here at the Road to BlizzCon Qualifier.
Well, pretty much everyone who has the option to pick anything globe related has taken something globe related. The only one who hasn't, I believe, is the Johanna.
And I guess Muradin, but he's also
does he have regen? I've never seen like anything other than Reverberation or Perfect Storm, so I don't know.
Oh, you actually mean who has a chance to pick something? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But he's also picked, I was about to say, like, he's also picked the talent that helps you with the additional stacking in one way or another. And that's exactly what he did there too. The one thing that got answered for me personally is that there is currently no seasoned marksman on Tyrande. And if you guys that are currently watching aren't really familiar with Vicious Pro's playstyle on Tyrande, then you might be a bit confused by that question, but it is one of the things that they do when they feel they don't have enough damage, and they do it especially on a map like this where they can get a lot of stacks for seasoned marksman. They play Tyrande in a way so that you can get a decent amount of damage out. You still rely on the Hunter's Mark, of course, for the stun, and snipe comp. But with the searing attacks on level 4 and the additional talents on 1 for the Seasoned Marksman stack, you can get a fair amount of damage out in the late game. And right now we are seeing on the side of Navi only one real damage dealer, and that is the Gara, of course, a specialist that can also push the lanes.
Yeah, for now though, she's not getting too much lane pushing done due to the fact she's against both Nazeebo and the Khaldor, who are just counter pushing her as much as possible and dropping harassment whenever they can.
Yeah, she's trying to get some vision at least with those creep tumors. There's not really a lot of counterplay. Malfurion is the one that will have to take care of those creep tumors at some point with his Moonfire. Blade down here with Babeta are taking care of that solo lane. Now, normally we have a solo lane here, but they are turning things around a bit. In the mid lane though, there's a bit of action happening right now.
Yeah, a little bit of action. There's quite a few people here, but Alex the Prodigy does not seem to care in the slightest, and it's just tanking up the minion wave.
What else is new? After the last game, I think Leoric should be like, basically, he should be the dude from the Big Lebowski. That's really who he is. Just chilling the entire time, not a care in the world. That is what Leoric is these days to me. So, yeah, that last game just is forever embedded in my head.
Time.
Sorry?
He just does not care the entire game. He just walks through stuff and just keeps going.
Hardened Bones taken again, and I'm so curious. What is level 7 going to be? I'm actually curious to see.
I hope it is the constant apparition.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see if he goes for the same build again or if he adjusts it because of this map in particular. We have still Tyrande with Pierce, so apparently Pierce and Ranger at least going to be taken on level 4 and level 16 to get some more damage on Tyrande. Stormbolt build for Muradin, the rotation in the mid lane. Alex is there for the siege damage, of course trying to get as many of these globes as possible for his level 1 talent Reanimation.
And gathering power taken from the Khaldor here. Taking the risk, he could be sniped very easily by the roaming gank squad. So he is taking a bit of a risk with this.
So far, the Tyrande comp with Muradin did not really do anything. The problem that you run into later on is that there's a cleanser available on level 7 for Malfurion, so he will be able to deal with this at least to a certain extent. There could be also a potential sanctification on Tyrael later down the road. So there are a few things that Meteor Makers can do to just stop these sniper comps. We have a lot of stuns, with Splendor having one on this Uther, Tyrande of course with her stun, Muradin with one as well. And if that hits, and it does right now at the bot lane, you can do a lot of damage, but they're trying to turn it around against Eternal and Schwimpy. That was a good move by Meteor Makers.
Yep, nice zombie wall from Blade as a counter engage. Went very, very well for him. Did just miss that creep tumor. And blue team, aka NaVi, have been able to grab the first set of web weavers.
That was a really fast one as well. I mean, we're only 4 minutes in and they already get the web weavers into play. So that just barely drops the level 7 talent into their hands. So they have quite the momentum going for them right now. As long as their opponents don't even have level 7, they are really solid here. And it is indeed Lingering Apparition for Leoric as they move into the bot lane with another stun against Nazeebo and take him out for the first kill in the game. The second one, actually.
Yeah, they were able to grab Nazeebo as well in the early game, so he has managed to die twice.
And that's one of the things that we also mentioned earlier during the draft, as we just mentioned that it is another hero just doesn't have his escape until level 13. For now, there's 3 heroes that are perfect targets for the stun combination. Khaldor, Nazeebo and Malfurion. And on level 13, all of these guys are going to get at least some kind of escape, except of course for Khaldor, who will have to wait much, much longer until he finally has something where he can use to get away. And again, the kill against Nazeebo. Oh my god.
The hate is real, and it is Blade on that Nazeebo as well, so quite a bit of targeting possibly going down.
Yeah, Blade usually plays Vala or Falstad, and both of those have an escape, so that Nazeebo positioning of his is not quite as good as his Falstad play, I want to say. He needs to be a bit more careful here. He died 3 times already.
Yeah, in the meantime, Alex the Pro G was just running between mid and top lane, soaking the XP, not sticking to one lane this time.
Yeah, he's sticking to two. They're very close to each other though. Level 9.5 versus level 8, and this is starting to look a bit grim for Meteor Makers. They need to win this one. If they lose here, then they're out of the tournament. We are already in the losers bracket, and that is a problem for Meteor Makers. So they really have to make sure that they, I don't know, they just focus on the rest of the game and really come back, because level 10 versus 8.
Oh no! Oh, for beta.
Level 10, there it is. Level 10 versus level 8 is brutal. This is really brutal, and we have enough gems again for Team NaVi to get the turn again once that Alex gets those 3 up at the top here.
Yep, he's going to be able to pick those up pretty easily. T-Darker not even trying to contest him, because Alex just a dominating force in the lane at the moment.
Yeah, he's playing this really well. Leoric is working well for him, and with level 10 they turn in again. They have the heroics, there's the Maw, Starfall, Divine Shield, the March of the Black King, and we're seeing them also with the Avatar. So now they are going to turn in again at the bot lane. There is Muradin turning his gems in. Here come the Web Weavers, the second wave, and they are going to try to drop a second fort after they already eliminated the structures at the bot lane.
And here we see Alex the Pro G going to be doing what he did last game. He's going to the most pushed lane, something that you usually avoid as much as possible in case you get picked off. But he's Leoric, goddammit, and he's just going to wade through this and push up with the push lane.
Yeah, and he's immediately met by 2 more heroes, but that rotation, of course, also puts only 3 heroes on the rest of the 2 lanes that are now able to defend the fort. So it's already an imbalance created by simply 1 hero moving down to the bot lane. Tyrael even sniped at the top. His explosion doesn't really do a thing, and this is going to be another fort that's going to fall, and Leoric is still making sure that they have to take care of him down here at the bot lane, where he's helping the Web Weaver to push through the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of people down here trying to get Alex, but he does not get rooted. There's the trade home, so he's just going to get a load of health back off of Remember, and a load of people have just left the lane already because they dealt with the Web Weaver.
Yeah, in the mid lane, when seeing the third fort actually being attacked now. We have finally level 10 also for Meteor Makers, and there's Sanctification. We have Phoenix, also the Blessed Shield, Gary the Gargantuan, and the Tranquility being used. But the position that NaVi is already in is amazing. They're 2.5 levels ahead.
Yeah, they are in a dominating position right now. Leoric has come up to... Where is Leoric actually? He's still bot. No, he's redoing his team in the mid lane. He's actually moving onto the fort. That is all 3 forts down by NaVi here, and they're trying to catch Remember. Here comes T-Darker from over the wall though.
Yeah, they're jumping in, and there's already the Phoenix, and Starfall is following up as well, and here comes the Maw, getting a few of the heroes now, setting everything up for the stuns, and there they are, they get the kill against Johanna, and against Tyrael maybe as well. Both of the tanks are down, a lot of the gems are lost or on the ground. Schwimpy and Eternal are moving back just in time, 6 kills against 0, and we have another talent lead for NaVi as they are claiming level 13 now.
Yeah, a load of them who did take a bit of health damage just go to grab fountains. JPL will be taking this Siege Giant camp in the bot lane with very little difficulty, and just regens most of his health back via his creep. He may just go back to base though for mana.
Crushing Hope taken this time for Leoric instead of the Burning Rage. We see Burning Rage on Muradin instead. Overflowing Light for Tyrande for the extra heal, and the Mutalisk for Zagara. Very great position again for NaVi. Alex is just pushing lanes all day long, using that skeleton swing to push these waves back and get his team even farther ahead. Already moving into the mid lane here now. They have currently 37 gems that they could turn in. They need a few more for the next Web Weaver wave, but they are in a great position here. They have a 3-level lead in the game now.
Yeah, and this 3-level lead is so dominating, especially when it is a talent lead. This, right now, MYM is still 2 levels away, about to be 1 level away from being even on talents with NaVi, while NaVi are just racing their way towards their 16.
And guess who's all alone at the top lane?
Yep.
It is Leoric. He's just like pushing all day long and just daring anybody to rotate over and try and fight against him. In this case, it's Babeta, since he doesn't have the level 16 talent. They are apparently not worried about losing him in the team fight because he won't be able to dish out too much damage. He will be there for the battle once that NaVi reaches the wall to drop his Phoenix, but NaVi doesn't even think about it. They move back again to turn in once more, and that's going to be the third Web Weaver wave for them.
Leoric getting focused down, just presses E, and he's gone.
Yeah, Leoric already gone, moves away, and the rest of the team is in the mid lane. We're waiting for the Web Weavers. Actually, they are not. They need to send a few heroes over there, and there's Alex. Alright, he's the one to turn in. The blue Web Weavers are descending for the 3rd time, and we have level 15 versus level 12, nearly level 13. So if Meteor Makers gets a few more experience points, they might be able to get that extra talent, but Tyrael stunned once, stunned twice, and goodbye. Ah, Meteor Makers is falling apart here. 7 kills against 0.
Yeah, they're really not able to get anything. Once again, another attempt at Alex's life in the mid lane. He's out and is now going to push the top lane while the rest of his team just crushes down that bottom lane. Shrimpy rejoining his team after just dealing with something. I'm not sure what it was. I'm assuming healing.
Yeah, in the mid lane, the Web Weaver is about to die. At the top lane, Leoric is split from the rest of the team again. He is super safe with his Wraith Walk, and he's going to use that. But we have everybody rotating over to him. The problem with this is, though, they leave the bot lane alone, and the keep goes down, but they are trying to take Leoric on, and this time they are probably going to get the kill. Oh, March of the Black King!
He's marched the Black King and just gets a load of health back from that, because it does heal for 7% of his maximum health for each hero hit, and he's back at full health.
No way.
And is going to carry on pushing.
The 5-man rotation didn't kill him, and he's just still there. This is crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. So, Leoric going to move on. He is under keep now, so he's going to struggle a bit more due to the fact that the keep will slow his auto attacks. Able to take down the fountain, though, and he's out.
Yeah, Leoric out once again, moves back. By now we have a 4-talent lead for NaVi on level 16. Leoric actually went into an imposing presence. Could you be any more annoying? Like, this is... oh my god.
And right now, he's still out on the map. He's being a distraction for his team, who are simultaneously... they are taking the boss in the top lane. Tyrande is delaying the turn-ins, and Eternal is grabbing the easy camp.
Why not? Why not go for it all? We're like...
oh, I think they gave up on the boss. Oh no, they're still doing the boss. He's just microing.
It's just
I thought
JPL.
he backed up out of it on my mini-map. My bad.
JPL is still there, and we're seeing Splendor helping him out too. Down in the bot lane, there's the battle. A 3-level lead now, and it's unbelievable how far ahead they are. Eternal is still there, Avatar is chasing the rest of them away. Now suddenly Meteor Makers realize that boss was taken during all of this. Alex is still not dead. With the imposing presence and the 2 talents taken on level 4 and level 7, he's never gonna die.
He's actually using his only escape, really, to chase here. And is going to try and go into T-Darker. The rest of his team is here. There's the first stun. Second stun does not land, though. Cleanse was used, was not needed, but better safe than sorry.
Up at the top lane, the boss is moving in against the keep. We have in the mid lane everybody trying to drop the second one. The Web Weavers are descending. We saw Remaballer turn in, but is that really going to change anything? It doesn't look like it, because this keep is probably going to go down. At least it will if Alex turns around, and he is definitely going to do that. The only question is when.
Yep, he can just roll in there whenever he feels like it. Remember, trying to look for an opportunity. Alex taking quite a bit of damage, but there's the March of the Black King. Gets a load of healing back off of everyone while wading through and doing huge damage, and down goes Johanna.
Johanna taken out, and they get the kill against Tyrael too. Chrisplosion was using Tranquility, but he got already isolated here from the rest of the team. There is the 3rd keep that dies. 14 minutes into the game, it's 9 kills against 0, and we see only the keep remaining, the core remaining, not a single keep is on the map any longer. Those Web Weavers are going to be pushed back in just a few seconds. To give you a bit of an idea of the damage that we've seen here, Leoric is at 130,000 siege damage.
That is quite a lot of siege damage, and Zagara, the proclaimed specialist, has 93,000. 40,000 less than Leoric.
And Leoric is also at 20,000 hero damage, just saying, which is exactly the same amount that Zagara has here.
So yeah, Leoric pretty good, yo.
Decent, I'd say.
Yeah, he's alright.
He's alright,
but
but Beta on the other hand seems to be not quite alright, because Leoric moves in to kill him and Eternal is with him. Both of them are going straight for Kel'Thas, and Tyrande with a kill steal in the last second gets the quick Lunar Flare in, and now of course in a 5 versus 4 situation. Could they go for a core? They could. The 16 talent isn't even there yet. They're trying to get another kill before that happens, and here comes Leoric once again.
Yeah, remember to try to buy time. March of the Black King does catch Blade quite a few times. and he had Drain Hope on that entire time. And for now, NaVi just going to move on to the core here. Remember, does blind all of them though, which does buy MYM some time.
Yeah, and it looks like NaVi doesn't want to risk anything here. Well, they actually go for the next kill, and they might kill... Oh, Johanna, no, not this time. The Sanctification, too strong.
Yeah, this time, I think that was the best Sanctification we've seen all game. So, very well played by Tyrael there, keeping your Johanna alive. And because Johanna survived, they are able to defend and clear the waves. However, NaVi are just going for turn-in.
Level 16, though, Kel'Thas, one Kel'Thas to rule them all. He has a lot of pressure on his shoulders now because Kel'Thas has Ignite and his team is like, alright, go buddy, take them.
Yeah, what he also has is 0 stacks. He is going to move in here. Tyrael, very much frontlining here, has taken a lot of damage. Leoric has arrived and is just wading through this. And
worst flame strike ever, not hitting a single target. That was a little bit anticlimactic here, but they still push them back. 16 versus 19. Remaball are going in with a Condemn. There comes also the tenacious roots on Malfurion, trying to lock somebody down so that Kel'Thas gets that set up, but the Web Weavers are ready. The blue team has another objective on the map, and all 3 lanes are now pushing in, and this is going to be the beginning of the end, especially with that level 20 talent being ready now any second for NaVi.
Yeah, bottom Web Weaver is going to drop very quickly, as it did go all the way to the base. And top one has just arrived as well. Eternal going very aggressively, trying to get Kel'Thas body blocking him from his base, and does take him down. Remember, coming in, trying to just zone and buy his team some time to do any damage. There's the Tranquility. That will keep Blade alive for a bit, but it's interrupted and Blade does get stunned up and taken down. And this is looking like the end.
Level 20 taken, they go for core, and this is going to be it. NaVi will advance through the losers bracket here at the road to Blizzcon Europe Qualifier. This was pretty solid, 2-0 against Meteor Makers, and congratulations to NaVi, very well played here, and I can't wait to see them in the next round of the tournament. A super solid game that we see from NaVi again. NaVi able to take the 2-0 in the best of 3 series. Meteor Makers played a great tournament, and we've seen them in the past few weeks with just amazing performance here. They reached the later rounds of the road to Blizzcon Qualifier as well, but it is NaVi that is just too strong. Their Leoric strategy works out very well for them. They approach the game a bit different with him now, set him up on one of the lanes to just push those in, and the rest of the team is trying to draw attention away from him, creating space for him to just do his thing, and it works extremely well. Meteor Makers wasn't prepared for it. They didn't really know how to rotate against him. They didn't know how to react, and therefore NaVi taking the 2-0 victory here. Extremely well played by them. They will advance to face Fnatic in the next round of the tournament. So pretty cool thing to happen here. I hope that you guys enjoyed the approach that NaVi took, and enjoyed also the commentary of the best of 3 series that we just saw there. If you did, make sure that you give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, and guys, if you have any questions, that just put them into the comments here on the YouTube video. Subscribe to Khaldor TV if you haven't done it yet, and I hope to see you on the channel for more content soon. We're going to, of course, upload even more videos in the near future. Thank you very much for tuning in today, boys, and I'm going to see you next time with more Heroes of the Storm on Khaldor TV. Have a good day, and bye-bye.